Hello, friend. We are here today to celebrate 1 year that I have been creating videos for you here on the Torches YouTube page. This seems really surreal for me. I'm actually having one of those pause and breathe moments right now because this didn't feel guaranteed when I started it. It felt hopeful, and hope is such a fragile thing that we can only protect it with our consistency. When I started this last January, I thought if I keep up with this and I close out the year with 500 subscribers, then it will be a phenomenal year. I'll know I have something here to help. And y'all showed up. We are now almost 2,000 strong, and I absolutely love this. For me, this isn't about a number on the screen. To me, this growing number represents real people choosing themselves, choosing to pause, reflect, and care for themselves in a world that doesn't often reward that. You're not just showing up for me, you are showing up for yourselves. Each week, you are reminding yourself you matter, and I absolutely love that. Before this channel and this endeavor, I had never aspired to be a YouTuber, but when I became a coach and I created Torches, I remember sitting with the question of who gets access to this kind of support and who gets left out because of cost, time, or proximity. And this channel was my answer to that. It became my way of leaving the door open for anyone who wanted to venture in. One of my primary objectives as a coach is to make this type of support and information accessible to anyone. Other coaches in my field charge astronomical rates for private sessions. And while I do offer private coaching with flexible rates, I know social medias, I just knew they were going to be my best bet to get the word out that I'm here for you and provide some support and foundation to those that are walking this path more in a solo fashion. In 2025, I grew a lot, and thank you to those who stuck around while I figured out how to make all this work. You showed up even when the camera angles were a bit off. Hi there, friend, and welcome back to Torches, Yoga, and Mindfulness. Be kind to yourself. Mindfulness is a daily practice, and some days are just better than others. You still showed up when I struggled to get the lighting right, like this one. I love it. I love that y'all are here. I love that y'all are learning, and I love that y'all are investing in yourselves. My friend, I'm excited. I wonder if you haven't yet, definitely make sure you subscribe because I'm almost there. I'm almost to 100, which is just a nice, beautiful number. It got cloudy outside. Got a little bit dark in here, but that's okay. It is bright and shining here at Torches. All right, friend. And even when I realized mid-filming that my space couldn't accommodate elaborate yoga instructions, you were still here. Usually, a lot of work goes into my videos for you. Not saying that this one hasn't been its own challenge, but it's not what was planned. So we're just gonna definitely wing it today. Bear with me. After trying many different angles, many attempts, many styles, many everything, many opportunities to practice mindfulness and compassionate self-forgiveness, I have had to make the determination that my space does not allow for me to give that range of motion that I need to be able to properly present a video to you to teach you how to do mindful movement through a yoga flow practice. But that's okay. Even through all that, you still trusted me when my video quality was, let's say, character building, and you still gave me a chance to be a part of your day. And thank you so much for that grace. That kind of patience is kindness. In the last year, we have talked about a lot. And when I started out making my plan for this, I thought 2 videos each week seems totally doable. When I first started, I had so much I wanted to share with you. We did a 16-week course on the 8 Skills of Mindfulness. Remember, every small moment of awareness counts. Every time we intentionally return to present awareness, we are disrupting our default habits. We are changing our brain, and we are calming our body. We're going to talk about what compassion does in our brains and how we can practice compassion with others. Today we're going to dive into the 3rd skill of mindfulness, and that's curiosity. If you've been with me all along, you've built a strong foundation of awareness and compassion, And now we're ready to add in open curiosity. But that's not the case, my friend. We generate energy. So this flow today will help you restore, reclaim, and regain some of your own energy. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my other video that came out this week, where we talk about the science behind our energy, little sneaky leaks and thieves of our energy, and other practices of how we can regain and restore that. Today, we are jumping into the 5th skill of mindfulness, and that is appreciative joy. You may be thinking, Coach Lauren, that sounds pretty and all, but what is that? Appreciative joy is when we genuinely allow ourselves to be uplifted by the happiness, success, and well-being of others and ourselves without holding comparison, envy, or attachment. Today, we are diving into mindfulness skill number 6, which is inner calm. If you are just joining us, no worries. You can catch skills 1 through 5 on my YouTube page, and I've got a playlist for it so you can find them all in one place, and you don't have to practice them or view them, learn them, whichever. You don't have to do it in order. While they do build from one to the next, there are no prerequisites with mindfulness. This is week 2 of our 7th skill of mindfulness, which is focus. If you missed it, don't worry. You can catch the first video I have on focus where we introduce it as a skill and a practice of self-respect. And I share a couple practices that you can use in your day-to-day life to sharpen your focus skill. But for today, let's talk about how what we give our attention to shapes our reality. Of course, we're going to get into what it does in our brains, and I have some practices for you that you'll be able to try at the end. Today, we are diving into the 8th and final skill of mindfulness, which is equanimity. When we talk about equanimity in mindfulness, we don't just mean having a balanced mood. Equanimity is not suppressing or numbing our emotions. It's not about staying positive no matter what, or pretending things don't bother you. And it's definitely not apathy. Instead, equanimity is kind of an inner spaciousness, a calm, quiet presence that can hold whatever you're feeling without getting swept away by it. And honestly, when that series ended, I got a little bit nervous. There was a moment of panic where I thought, maybe I've said everything I know how to say. And then I realized this isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying curious together. And sure enough, the ideas kept rolling, and y'all showed up with great suggestions and requests. Some of you never said a word, but practiced quietly, and that's where the watch numbers told me what you were struggling with or juggling on your own. Today, we are going to program our body to unlock designated memory imprints so you can move through anger, grief, sadness, and turn them into peace, softness, and love. Because the truth is, the body remembers. As requested, we learned how to process grief together. If you have lost someone who felt like your entire future or your whole world, friend, I am so sorry. Grief is not just an emotion. It is a full body experience, an unraveling of what could have been and a letting go of what was. Grief. How to combat the imposter inside all of us. Do you ever feel like you're not good enough, like you don't belong? Or do you feel that you don't deserve that accomplishment or promotion you got, despite the evidence of your own capabilities? Imposter syndrome can develop in different ways for different people. And we talked about how being mindful after the fact still counts. Let's be honest, none of us are mindful 100% of the time. That's just not how it works. It's always going to be a practice and a return to mindfulness. Maybe you noticed that you reacted instead of responding. Maybe you noticed that you froze up instead of pausing to take a breath. Maybe you find yourself beating yourself up because you feel like you've replayed a cycle over again. But here's the truth, friend. Recognition after the fact is still on the right path. In mindfulness, a missed moment isn't a lost one. It's still an opportunity that we can take at any time to show up and engage that moment with gentleness and not judgment. Neuroscience even shows that when we reflect on a moment with mindfulness, we can still rewire our brains for greater emotional resilience. And honestly, some weeks the schedule and pressure to post 2 videos was kind of daunting, and occasionally I got off track. Wait, wait for me. Wait, hold on, I'm here. I'm here. I didn't forget. I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Oh, I didn't forget. I'm here. I'm a little late, but I'm here. I totally spaced on our monthly mindful check-in. I just started this last month, so I'm still kind of getting into the rhythm of it, but better late than never, right? And that's okay. Life gets busy, and part of mindfulness is noticing when we may have let some things fall through the cracks. And when we do notice, we then have a choice to make. We can either criticize ourselves or we can come back gently and allow ourselves some grace and compassion. But y'all were still patient, and that patience felt like a collaboration, like we were building something together deeply real, not just a shallow performance. Nowadays, since my SD card is getting full, most of my outtakes get trashed for the sake of space, but if you missed it before, here are some of from the earlier days. Because what is life if we can't laugh at ourselves a little bit? Focusing our attention when we do have that moment of refocusing our attention when we do have that moment of moment of moment of moment, but when we but when we give those labels or nailed it, training our brains to return to the present minute, and it also improves what and strengthens our mindfulness practices all around, bringing. Late last summer, after we wrapped up the 8 Skills of Mindfulness series, nervous as I was to share another side of myself with y'all, I stepped out on a ledge, and y'all were so kind and supportive. You welcomed it with open arms as I took a different approach to mindful coaching with the Stillness in the Dark series. In that series, I wrote and told scary stories like we were sitting around a campfire. That series felt like taking off armor. It wasn't instructional in the usual way. It was symbolic, psychological, and a little bit unsettling at times. And you didn't make me and ask me to explain it away. You just let it be what it was. Together we explored the beast in the basement with Ricky, and today I'll be your guide through the strange spaces between self-awareness and the supernatural. This is a special 8-episode series I have created that I call Stillness in the Dark. And the title of today's story is A Beast in the Basement, where our curiosity is the only thing keeping the beast at bay. We were there with Mara as she faced the Wendigo. Today, I have for you the 6th installment of our Stillness in the Dark Mindful Horror series. They say the Wendigo is born from hunger and madness, a spirit that feeds on fear until nothing human remains. This story follows Mara, a woman embarking on a 7-day solo stretch of the Appalachian Trail. But for this trip, she carries more than a pack. And even with Celeste, this may be my best story yet. In this story, we follow 6 old college friends reuniting, all burning out in their own way, and Celeste, who wants to save them. So, grab a snack, sit back, and let me tell you a tale. This 1-year celebration isn't just for me or just about torches. It's about us. It's about you. This channel exists because a community formed around the idea that healing doesn't have to be loud or perfect or linear. Every time you clicked play instead of scrolling past, every time you took a breath instead of pushing through, every time you chose to reflect instead of numb out, you were participating in this space. You helped shape its tone, its pace, and its depth. You didn't show up for me, you showed up for yourself, and that is the heartbeat of this channel. Through breathwork, shadow work, workshops, and practices, You kept showing up to do the work. And for that, you deserve a round of applause. My hope for you is that you keep showing up for yourself because you are absolutely worth it. The world needs you, not the burnt out version, not the version of you that shrinks or hardens to perform, not who you were or who you think you should be. Just you showing up in small, honest ways. Friend, whether you have been here since the beginning or if you have just joined, thank you for walking with me and sharing small pieces of your day and practices with me. I am really glad you're here, and I'm really glad that you're you. Stay present, stay kind to yourself, and I will see you soon. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything that we get into in 2026.